So Dominic, I said this in the nosebleeds, but I think it's a great sentiment. Whether you're evaluating this fight by looking at the odds or by the public opinion going in, very clear that people think this is a no-brainer, Giga Chikadze
Yeah.
victory. So much so that people thought they should hold off on booking Volkanovski Korean Zombie because Chikadze wins. He's 8-0. But I think that just shows, Dominic, that you're really only as good as your last fight because Calvin Kattar, outside of that loss, and I get it, how high profile it was, the first card on ABC and in a main event slot with a former champion
Yeah.
and Max Holloway, and you get beat down 50-42, 50-43. That's I mean, that is a hard pill to swallow. But outside of that, he has looked fantastic in the UFC his whole career. Remember Jeremy Stevens, the very first card, UFC 249 in the COVID era? The elbows when he
Oh
knocked
yeah,
out.
that's true.
He knocked
That's
out
true.
Jeremy Stevens with a fucking elbow. I mean, just
Yeah.
nasty stuff. This dude is a killer. And that one fight is just put the stigma on him as if he's some sort of scrub. And I am not here for it.
Yeah.
So, Dominic, I'm curious if you does your thoughts on the matchup sort of align with mine and maybe just go in more to kind of where Kattar sort of excels in this matchup? Where can he really find a route to victory here?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And again, as we kind of stated on the nosebleeds, plus 200, 2-1 underdog, it is surprising, but not at the same time, kind of toward the sentiment that Noah made. But for Kattar, he is a savage, man. He's prone to going to war and being able to last. This dude does not get finished, people. He's either going to go out there and bring it to you, or he's going to die trying to, if you're beating him. And, this is one where it's Giga's been tested his past two fights, his two biggest tests, because he started his UFC career 4 wins, but they were decisions. There was a split sprinkled in there. But since he's on 3 straight KO TKO victories, including Cub Swanson, including Edson Barboza. However, and because Barboza is a great striker, that was a fantastic matchup main event wise between Chikadze and Barboza going in. Calvin is a completely different striker than anyone that Giga has faced thus far, being that he is a primarily dominant boxer and he's as crisp and technical as they come. And don't get me wrong, Chikadze is a matchup that Kattar truthfully hasn't really seen. I mean, he got a glimpse of it against Max Holloway, but not as heavy with the kicks and the way in which he moves. Holloway and Chikadze moved completely differently in the terms of their striking. So I think this is going to be a very closely contested bout. I don't foresee a finish coming. I think we're going to have a back and forth technical, I'm going to say a technical brawl, Noah, because I think Kattar is going to have to make it a little bit ugly. I think he's going to have to make Chikadze uncomfortable and force him to make mistakes in order to land the big shots that he needs to potentially get that win. But I think this is a phenomenal first main event of the year. It's a striking delight. But yeah, Kattar is a dog, and he cannot be counted out in this one simply due to his last fight and Chikadze's momentum. You can't overlook him.
Yeah, and I think Chikadze's momentum is worth noting because the win
Yes.
over Barboza and even the one over Cub Swanson doesn't get more impressive than that. But I just want that doesn't paint the full picture of Chikadze's UFC career.
Yeah.
It's not been all sunshine and rainbows. I mean, yes, he hasn't lost, but he's kind of squeaked by a couple of unremarkable opponents. Even his contender series appearance, he squeaked by. Didn't get a contract.
Yeah, that's true.
So while maybe that's just a sign that, well, he's just a vastly improved fighter since then, and that might be true, but maybe Kattar can expose that whatever flaw, whatever was kind of holding back Chikadze from really making that jump into being one of the top fighters in the world. It doesn't mean that he necessarily has just gotten that much better that he covered all that up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's just doing such a good job of avoiding or hiding those flaws that prevented him in the first place. Maybe Calvin Kattar can be the one to kind of expose that again. it's really going to be an interesting fight because like you're pretty dead set on like I don't see this fight getting a finish, and both these guys are such good finishers though at this point that it's like, you know, but neither guy necessarily. I mean, look at what Kattar went through against Max Holloway.
Yeah,
never got finished.
Yeah.
Now is that a sign that he took such a beating that now he ain't going to be able to take the punishment?
True.
It could be a case, but I don't necessarily see that being what's going to happen here. I think Kattar had done a pretty good job through most of his career before that. Yes, he's had some wars. You know, the fight with Shane Burgos back in the day was a really fun back and forth, but he hasn't necessarily taken like a ton of damage in his career.
Yeah.
Besides that fight, and that fight's a career's worth of damage. But
of course,
you know, he's had some pretty flawless performances of his own. So I look to see who takes the center of the octagon more often than the other, because aggression has kind of been a key for both guys. Kattar likes to get in your face, likes to get in the pocket, like you said, use that. What's the boxing? What are they called out there? The new.
Oh, the New England Cartel.
The New England Cartel. He loves to get in the pocket and really
his combinations, man.
Force you on your bike, if you will. Chikadze also uses his aggression, but it's so he can keep throwing those kicks at the body, at the liver. Mm-hmm. Which guy's going to really move forward more often than not? Is Kattar going to be a little hesitant after the beating he took? Is Chikadze, being that he is really on the precipice of a title shot, is he going to be maybe a little funny, looking a little funny in the light, you know? So it's a damn good main event, though, with a damn good poster to line up for it.
Amen.